We have some more ideas for Blitzclique coming together. We have some S-Force action, and probably one of the weirdest decks you're going to see. Make sure you guys smash the living crap out of that Blitzclique button so you guys don't miss out more Oz content. You know, how many quick play spell cards do you need to have for a Blitzclique deck to kind of work? Well, Radiant Typhoon Vision is here to help you with your standardized problems, because being able to kind of, you got triple MST in this, you've got, you know, the Blitzclique quick play spell card, Fallen and Virtuous, you got a lot of tools in here that I hadn't really expected. And obviously, you know, Blitzclique does care about its extra deck to a degree, you know, and I mean that with like Harmonias and Fallen and Virtuous targets. Those are going to be the major payoffs that you're going to be looking at, especially looking at a deck like this. So I think that this is probably a pretty innovative setup for this deck. I do look forward to kind of seeing, you know, how players are going to kind of challenge this grind and, you know, try to do things. Also, Triple Solemn Warning down on the side deck. Broken card alert. Next up, we have S-Force Valence. Yeah, that's a combination of things that I didn't expect to see. Basically, you're going to be kind of relying on your initial pendulum setup to get the S-Force established. But, you know, beyond the pendulum is going to be kind of an assister for you to kind of get the combo line going. Now, obviously, Valence is going to do some little movements, and you do get to play the Valence boss monster in here to kind of assist you with some of those things. But this appears to be like a decent combination of things to kind of work with. So, I mean, like, it's not like S-Force is, like, performing extremely crazy or anything right now. But it's enough that, you know, we can take a look at these ideas and go, oh, hey, you know, this is the idea that is working with Blitzclique or with S-Force now. So, you know, what more do we shape up the idea? It's a rough concept around the edges, 150%, but it's workable. This is the weirdest pile that I have seen. This is Vanquish Soul, Libromancer, Melfi. When I first saw this list, I was like, what in the world are we doing here? You know, and like I said, every one of these videos we get to look at these lists, there's always going to be something that catches my eye that's just straight weird. And this is it. Obviously, you know, getting access to the Herald, the bridge into the Libromancer stuff kind of creates a more recognizable end board for you, which is kind of nice. Also, Libromancer is fire. So, I mean, like, if you're doing some of the Vanquish Hole stuff, you can kind of make some little adjustments to your end boards, and you can kind of make something a little bit funnier. Like I said, it's funny, but the Melfi stuff provides you with a decent field backup, and Control Libromancer provides you an end board, and then you just get to use whatever the heck else you've got going on here to make this work. Next up is a Uriah deck, or rather, Argo Star. So this is, the concept of this is, you know, how many good trap monsters can we kind of access to be able to control the opponent? Obviously, you know, when you do have that's 10 interactions in here, that opens up an entire extra combination of things for you to be able to do your thing. But also, Uriah does get pretty fat, especially when we can, you know, you can eat these Argo Star cards to actually establish a Uriah. That was not on my bingo sheet of things to do. You know, these, especially like when you get the old Imperial Custom up and running that you can kind of grind through, you have some different ways to kind of make this work. So I appreciate this. Definitely was not on my bingo sheet for this. Next up is Galaxy with Teller Knights. I have seen whoever the duelist was that was cooking this list up, they've been posting several renditions to this concept. Now, obviously, the Teller Knight stuff's going to provide you with a good, consistent rank 4 package to get access into the Teller Knight stuff. I think that's the reason why you choose to play that stuff, because, you know, you're not playing any of the bigger payoff in the Teller Knight department. It's just, how fast can I achieve said light monsters to set up this package? And honestly, it's probably the way you need to go about this, because Photon has always kind of struggled from kind of its initial setup. Like, obviously, if you can get the key pieces going, the deck just kind of feels pretty strong. So this might be a weird thing, but I kind of like this deck. This seems kind of fun. Next up here, this is what we're about to deal with in terms of Elf Note here. But this is only after Elf Note receives an entirely extra wave of support. So the fact that this deck is going to get, you have Harmonia, you have the Fiendsmith package, the new one from Blazing Dominion acting as, a new monster is great, but you also do get a new supercharged boss monster in here, which is also going to help this deck out in terms of its consistency. And that's going to lead to way more large problems as time's going to go on. So I'm already intrigued with the top end of this. The fact that they've also got 2 of the Synchro Trap in here as well to be able to exploit is freaking crazy to me. This deck is hilarious. Next up is the Charmer deck. Now, Charmers in combination with the Curtain is great because Curtain automatically provides you with a spellcaster straight on the field, and then you're going to get to bridge into the Gaze of Timaeus. Gaze of Timaeus is going to, bridge you into the D-Mod. The D-Mod's job is to make sure that your spellcaster book that needs to go find all of those additional, pieces to make this deck work actually resolves. Now, if you notice, you're playing a lot of different targets for this. You've got one of each of the Charmers present. I think that's fine. Because as long as you can get to the big fusion monster, I think your deck's going to kind of pay off just nicely. We are also playing Miyabi in here as well. We're also playing the Link 5. Oh boy. The Link 5 to be able to tear through things. The Summon Sorcerers. Summon Sorcerers in this deck actually does have a place. Especially, if you can get to the Grand Charmers. I kind of like that. Next up is Radiant Typhoon. Now, the reason why I chose to include this is we don't get to see a lot of kind of how this deck has been left in the sand. They lost, Harpy's Featherstorm effectively. So the deck's consistency in its end board, it's a lot weaker than it used to be. But that's not stopping players from still picking this up. Because, Crocea is still a hell of a card. Still having the boss monster be one of the craziest interactions to bounce back an entire field is still crazy. Like, these are still incredibly powerful cards that exist within the meta, and that's not changing anytime soon. We still are going to be seeing those incredibly powerful interactions from this. It's just, it's a little bit more fair now, because you don't have the free cha-ching, that's the sound of the win button, You don't get access to that as much now. So that's kind of nice. Now, we do get more Phantom Knights. This has been a nice deck to kind of see. Now, the fact that you're playing 5 Dominus in here, you're crazy. But it works. Your deck is only going to be doing dark. Okay, excuse me. You have 1 wind monster right here. And you have a light monster. But guess what? It's not going to matter. You're going to get soft locked, but there's going to be games where you're not going to see these dominances, so that's not really going to matter. Obviously 2 out of your 13 card extra deck becomes unusable, but it's not enough to functionally matter at this point. But the Phantom Knight setup, this deck it still has a lot of its key plays. Obviously, what you're slotting in here, 1 new trap card, 3 of these. You do get the new Dark Rebellion, and you get the new Phantom Knight down here. You don't even really change this list a lot. I would actually think that this one's probably, one of the more consistent versions that I've actually seen, and that's kind of nice. Our last list here is actually going to be some more S-Force. We've seen a lot of S-Force lists just kind of messing around with Witch of the Black Forest and the Dark Magical Curtain, because Witch of the Black Forest just ends up basically being a starter for this deck for you to be able to kind of set up and go. And it's actually kind of nice to have that payoff very, very early on. Also, Gaze of Timaeus is another little funny card that you can kind of mess around with. If I recall correctly, we do have an in-house Dark Spellcaster for this deck, so you curtain into this and you kind of go, which is kind of funny. So what do you guys think about these cool lists. Please leave a comment down below. Tell me what you guys think. See your beautiful faces back the other day, guys. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.